Success is basically a product of two things: value and people. The more value that you can pump into society to the more people, the more successful you'll be. Money is not a measure of success. Money is a side effect of success. The only real measure of success is happiness. If you ever read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, he talks about how he's making like $60,000 a month and was still ready to put a gun to his head because he was bored. The opposite of happiness is not sadness, it's boredom. Anytime you're bored, you're not happy. So always ask yourself that question: am I bored? If you're bored, change things. It's scary to change things though. It's hard for people to quit a boring ass waste of life job if they make $100,000 a year doing it. It's hard. The only way you're ever going to truly be happy though is if you chase your passion, because then the time you put in is it's like fun. It's not even work. So let's talk about Spider-Man here. So Spider-Man has a passion. He helps people. He saves lives. He works for the greater good. This guy, he pumps a pile of value into a pile of people, therefore is extremely successful. Now, because he's a superhero, he doesn't really need any money, because he doesn't need money. He has no use for money. He doesn't even have a use for it. Unless he obviously we have a use. We got to eat, we got to have transportation. But that's the coolest part. When you're actually chasing your passion, you actually start to not even care about money. Because most people, it's like they're chasing the dollar. So that's like all they have is that money. Because they don't even know what their passion is, and they haven't worked on themselves enough to actually go chase it, or everybody around them in their social circles telling them that they're crazy and they're going to end up broke if they chase their passion. But the cool part is, if you can make ends meet doing something you love, you can do something that you actually love for very cheap, as long as you can put food on the table. So the whole idea came about because most people think you got to grind out a crappy job or go get an education that you don't want to even be enrolled in, secondary education that costs you a fortune in student loans, to get a job when you're out of school to maybe make $100,000 if you're lucky, which you can't even guarantee that anymore in this economy. There's a million people that I know have engineering degrees that aren't even working. Anyway, so then you live to your 65, yippee-ki-yay, you have $1 million in the bank, then what? Because see, you still have no passion then. So now you've got to figure out your passion. And the whole thing was, my buddy, he was working for a company and he was doing sales for home security systems. And I asked him, I'm like, so do you love this? And he's like, yes, I love basically keeping people safe. But what it was is it's a kind of a psychological trick he's doing to himself to try to convince himself that he likes what he's doing. Because then I asked him, would you do that for free? Like Spider-Man saves people for free. And he's like, ha ha ha, no. And I'm like, what would you do for free? And he said he loves, he loves working at the restaurant business. He's got mad skills, social butterfly, this kid. And he also loves teaching kids swimming lessons. That's his passion. If he could do that and make ends meet, eventually what happens is you get addicted to the process. You don't have a lot of money down here, but you're passionate, so you're already happy. You can actually be happy in the now. It's not like you're chasing this golden donut 30 years down the road. And then as you go through the process, eventually, because you're so passionate, people will see the value in your product. And then all of a sudden you actually do become successful. Then all of a sudden money becomes a little bit of a side effect from the success. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on what you're doing, but it doesn't really matter because you're still doing your passion anyway. And as long as you don't starve to death, it's all good. So everybody have a great day.